Hi, welcome back to another game of Steel Division. Today I'll be using the 84 Gvard Strelkovy mechanized Russian deck in red on the right, going up against the 78 Storm German mechanized deck in blue on the left. So before we begin, just going to quickly show off both the decks. First up is the 84 Gvard Strelkovy Russian mechanized deck on a balanced deployment type. And with this deck we are going for the late game because we do have these IS-2 heavy tanks and the extra sneaky squads. Pretty expensive units to bring out, but well worth it if you can get to the late game. So for phase A, we want to bring up the orders for sneaky for close quarter combats, along with the Gvard for long range and the T-34Es for support. We've got Gvard, Sappers and Sapper Rocks coming up in phase B, and then the Strasniki coming up for phase C. For armor, we've got the IS-2 Commanders and IS-2 1943 models for phase B, and then the IS-2 1944 models in phase C. So very expensive, but as long as you can position them right and try to keep that max range of 2,000 meters, you're going to be very difficult to deal with. The KV-8S flame tanks are also going to be pretty useful in the early phase, supporting my infantry as they make their pushes. You've got the 85mm AA guns, which can also be used for dealing with armor. I've got rockets coming up in phase A very early, along with the Tu-2F recon planes to spot the enemy for my rocket strikes. The PE-3 BISs, really good at dealing with infantry and guns. The IS-237 for dealing with armor, then the Yak-1Bs for dealing with other fighters. We've also got the off-map with the 203mm and the 122 heavy artillery as well. Next up is the 78 Storm German mechanized deck with a Maverick deployment type. And this deck has some of the most powerful infantry in the game. You can see that just by the cost here. They're all 30 plus. You can bring them up in half tracks as well, making them even more powerful. So for phase A, we've got the Schützen for long range, the Storm Schützen for close range. We've also got the Beglet Grenadiers and Beglet Pioneers. For phase B, we've got the Schützen and Storm Schützen again, and they're going to be backed up by the Stug 3Gs. I've also got IG-18s and 33s for infantry support. For armor, we've got the Nashorns, we've even got the Nashorn Ace Nagel, and we've got the 88mm. More 88s coming up for dealing with air and tanks. We've got rockets, we've got off-map, and we've got the BF-109 G6s to try and deal with their air. Okay, so first up we've got the Southern Defense with an 85mm, some Maxims, sniper team, and some Gvard. In the town we've got a lot of units kind of setting up. You just kind of see over in this forest and these buildings here. I've also got some PTRS squads, so I'm going to try and race over into their side of the flag across the river. And we've got some PTRSs and a flame squad over into this forest, and then another couple of flame squads up into the northern forest. I've got the Katyusha rocket artillery in the back there with the Tu-2F recon plane for scouting out the enemy. And I noticed that there's a large sum of units coming up on the north side and very limited defenses for myself. Thankfully we have spotted and are now taking aim on those squads, getting ready to hit them with a nice rocket barrage. So we do miss our target, but managed to pin them down, giving us enough time to bring up some reinforcements for this hillside. Elsewhere on the front, we are setting up the ZISs in this bushland, and they're going to start hitting that storm shooting before it can get into some buildings for cover. We have a nice little defense here across the river with the Panzerschrecks in the forest to deal with their armor that moves up, the Gvard, Maxim and ZIS-3. Over on the lower end of the town we've got some flamethrowers and Ordnungsmasniki along with the Gvard, and in the town set up with the 85 Gvard and sniper team along with the Maxim and Gvard to hold this flag. So we're going to come back over to the north side. This is where the majority of the action is going to take place in the early game. We've got a lot of units coming up from the opponent's side, and we're just trying to rush those reinforcements in to deal with those stuck 3Gs that have made their way up onto the hill. These flamers are a little bit in trouble, but as long as I can keep them in the dense forest and drop smoke when needed, they shouldn't have too much of a problem trying to survive that. So our first Panzer goes off and gets a direct hit, and our second one comes up and finishes that second stug. There's the smoke and the retreat. And because of the 2 stars, these Panzerschrecks are going to be hitting with 100% accuracy instead of the 90%, which is guaranteeing a hit no matter what. The smoke wall comes up as we get those Panzerschreck units closer into the combat. And those flame waffen are going to unexpectedly run into 2 of my flame squads. Now just trying to get these Gvard up into the forest so we can try and recapture this flag. But we are getting hit from that heavy artillery back there. IL-237 coming in and trying to knock out that Panzer T-26. Looks like I'm just trying to pull back. Heavy artillery was quite threatening, along with this wall of fire. Thankfully though, the Stug also was trying to get out of the fire and ran straight into our Panzer Pass. Gvard are now going to engage with the SDK FZ half track. Flame waffen goes down. And the half track also goes down. So the PTRDs are really good at dealing with half tracks and light armored vehicles. Also transports, pretty much anything that's got low end armor. It'll be able to deal with. These Beglet Pioneers though are going to easily pick apart our Gvard, and I decided to fall them back. I've got no units that can try to support them either, so I'm just hoping that they'll try to run into a forest or something. I did set up a Maxim in the back there, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop them from finishing off that Gvard squad. So unfortunately we do lose that squad. The Maxim starts to try and suppress that Favorite Pioneer squad now as we wait for our reinforcements. Another recon tank goes down, and the SD KFZ also, thanks to our T-34E rolling up. We've also got the KV-8Ss. And some orders for sneaky. So we can try to recapture this flag. A little bit of reckless driving there from the orders for sneaky. But we are now set up and ready to counter push. The nice rocket barrage coming in there. And there's the surrender. We do unfortunately lose quite a few orders for sneaky there. These were 10-man squads, decimated down to 3 guys left. Even while they were pinned, just showing just how powerful those units are. They had 2 KV-8Ss, a T-34E, and 2 sneaky squads hitting them, and they still managed to kill a good 8. Oh yes, yeah, like 17 units. Sorry, 17 men. So it does look like he falls back into the forest here on his side of the river, giving us control of our flag again. We've now got the IS-2 commander coming up since it is phase B. And I did notice these Stormschützen coming up. Oh, sorry, Stormschützen and Schützen. So I've brought up the 85mm AA gun along with a sniper team to try and protect this flag. Over here I've brought up some more T-34Es, and just to give a better presence here. Not too much has actually happened in the town, since most of our focus was up there on the north side. So while it is pretty quiet on the rest of the fronts, I'm going to focus back up here on the north. This IL-237 was going to try to hit this Stug 3 as it was up on the hill, but unfortunately our recon plane ran out of fuel and had to go back. I'm not too sure why this Stug 3F backed up. I think it was because as he started to push up, he noticed that it wasn't actually bulging out, so he knew there was something in here waiting for him. Another rocket strike goes down. Forcing those Gvard Grenadiers, Pioneers and Schützen to be pinned down so we can start pushing forward our armour. Unfortunately we don't really have any infantry that can push up either. We've got the Orders for Sneaky, which I'm hoping can push up since they are pinned down. But what I didn't know is that this Stug 3F was kind of hidden back in the bushland there. Big hit from the IS-2 though. Managed to knock him out. So I do decide to bring up the Orders for Sneaky, hoping that while they're pinned down I can quickly cross them along the river and get that surrender with my armour at the back there. And with that there's a surrender. So we do manage to pull a lot of land now. We've managed to capture these 2 flags and got a pretty nice presence over here on the north side. So elsewhere I have reinforced this position with some guard gear, a leader squad, some snipers and some off-map artillery, because my next goal is to try and take this flag. My opponent has brought up a lot of these Stug 3s. It looks like he's getting ready to try and make a push up on the south side. And it's got some more reinforcements coming up into better position themselves over up on the top of this hill here. So there's the off map getting ready to hit. I wasn't too sure what was here. I was expecting some units hidden in these forests. PE3BIS was going to come in and hit that IG-33, but unfortunately it does get pushed back by the STKFZ AA gun, AA half track. Maybe it was the off map. There's some nice hits there, managed to hit 4 squads, and we are going to begin our push. I think at the same time the enemy was actually making a push. You can see a large group of Stugs trying to push up onto the southern hill. T-34E nearly getting taken out by that Stug 3G. Nice side shot there, suppressing us. Ooh, that IL-237 just gets out of there, I think. Looks like he is going to try and divert some of those Stugs over to the center now. After seeing my IL-237 nearly go down, I do take out that half-track AA with my rocket barrage. We're starting to slowly push up, not too sure what is waiting for us. They do take out that 85mm, so leaving our guys very exposed. So we are now just going to start running across into the forest, hoping that we can pick up this flag. Oh wow, I'm not too sure how that's... Oh, they've got a oh, they've got a Pack 43 up there on the hillside, which just annihilated our T-34E. I've also got some pretty bad news here. Those Stugs did break our line and push up into the town. Over on the south, again, they managed to knock out what defenses we had and secure this hill. I decided to try to push these sappers over and try and take this flag. I wasn't too sure what was waiting for me. I figured there couldn't be too much resistance there. A couple of IS-2s now, going to engage with the Flak 41 88mm. Pretty surprised that this couldn't even dent our tanks, so it does have 160 pen. And we've got 160 frontal, so just not enough to be able to deal with us. That IG-33 getting a little bit too close to those sappers. Should see the TNT hopefully. Oh, didn't even need it. Gvard is crossing the river now. Unfortunately, they do have a lot of units over here. They've got the Schützen, Sturmschützen, and they've even got the IG-18 and Pack 43. These guys are going to get caught out. Those tanks still trying to sweep through the town. I do manage to get some guard veers in the back though to secure this flag. And a nice couple of pickups there from the opponent. Nice teamwork there with the flamethrowers and orders for sneaky, managing to take down that Sturmschützen. So there's a lot of things happening now on all of the fronts. So I'm just trying to capture what's going on. I think the T-34E is about to go down. As they're just trying to clean up what little defense I've got left. Oh, Stug 3 does go down. We might even get a shot at the rear of this Stug 3G. Oh, nice shot. And with the IS-2 in the back there, this is a 44 model, so it's going to obliterate this Stug 3G. A bit of an issue with accuracy though, it's only got 35% accuracy. But you do get that Stug 3G. So the more shots your tank takes, the better its accuracy becomes. So as long as you can just keep that max range and just keep firing and you've got plenty of ammo, you're always going to win that engagement. My second IS-2 1944 coming up on the southern side with a couple of guide veers. We're going to try and knock out these Schützen and Sturmschützen. Somehow he did manage to keep and hold this flag. I feel like take and hold this flag. I feel like if these three did actually come out of their housing, they would have been able to obliterate that guard veer squad along with the leader squad back there. I've also brought up my commander now. I can't see the links, but he's giving this IS-2 and all of its allies extra experience. Actually, I think this guy's a little bit too far back, so these guys are missing out, unfortunately. I think I do move him up when I notice that at some point. So the town is back under our control. Move up these guard veers, getting ready to re-secure this flag. And down on the south, we've brought up the IS-2, just picking apart those squads, along with the commander IS-2 there. I also moved the sniper team from this housing here and start taking some nice shots on them. MG43 there, taking shots at that guy here. Luckily our IS-2 wasn't there. I think this thing could, yeah, easily punish our IS-2s. Nice rocket strike there. Looks like they did manage to take out that Gvard squad, which held on for so long. So I did a bit of a retaliation with some rockets. Had nothing to really push up and try and force any surrenders though, just trying to keep them at bay so we can keep that leader squad alive. So down in the south we do recapture our flags and are pushing forward. Up north, pretty much stalemated there. Oh sorry, became stagnant. Nothing really going on. Another IS-2 joined the ranks. Without any armor support, these guys are pretty much stuck back there. If they do try to advance, they're just going to run straight into our T-34Es, machine gun and main cannon. So we're now starting to push over to the bridge. Gvard do start to get hit by that MG42 though. So we're just lining up along the bushland and starting to push across now. Making our way across the bridge. Some more IS-2s coming up in the back there. So we've now got 5 IS-2s that just can't really be defeated at this point. Another rocket barrage goes down. I'm just trying to keep that leader alive as I bring up some extra sneaky. So these units should be able to go toe to toe with the Schützen, especially with the T-34E supporting them. IS-2 even getting some shots in the And then bring up some more, it's just sneaky. Going to just set them up in these houses as we have captured this next flag. There's sneaky going down with their triple DPs. With the 3 DP28s along with the PTRD. Nice bombing run there by the PE3BIS. I've also brought up some heavy artillery now, the 122mm A19s. They're going to be taking some shots over onto these Pack 43 and IG-18s on the hillside. We managed to get another flag under our belt, and we just managed to capture this one after pinning down the Schützen. Moving those guard views up into these buildings now so that we can get a nice hold on that flag. And we're just starting to move up the IS-2s, going to try and see if I can get this flag. Only 40 seconds left on the clock though, I don't think we're going to get there in time. I think I tried to move this Sapper squad over, but that storm shooting's there anyway. Nice, heavy artillery finally takes out that Pack 43. IG-18 just surviving. Got 10 seconds left. Seconds, 1 second. We do manage to get that flag though, with a major victory, with 4,100 kills, 1,300 losses. But thanks for watching.